I'm in my feelings.
Enough of you, Kevin Gates. We're doing a buy this, not that situation today. Our Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette going up against the Rimmel London Crimson Edition. So on my left eye, your guys is right, I'll be applying the Naked Urban Decay Cherry palette. And then on my right eye, your guys is left, I'll be applying the Rimmel London Crimson Edition eyeshadow palette. This eyeshadow palette at Walmart, I believe, retails for $7.44. Meanwhile, the good old Urban Decay Cherry palette retails for $49. So there is a major price difference. As always, this comes with like a little like old school eyeshadow applicator, and then this is more of a flat brush, whereas the Urban Decay palette comes with more of a pencil brush, and then the other end is a crease brush. We all know that Urban Decay Naked palettes all come with a double-ended brush. I will say right off the bat, I wish Urban Decay did the old school brushes where one end was a flat brush and the other end was a crease brush. I just find it to be a little bit more useful. This from Rimmel London, I will just probably toss in the trash, to be quite honest. I don't really see myself using that type of brush ever. And then just so you guys can kind of see like exactly how freaking similar these eyeshadow palettes are, like, do y'all see that? Or am I tripping? Somebody get Shane on the phone. We have a conspiracy, okay? We need him to figure this out. What the hell is happening? Without further ado, and with me not talking so damn much, let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? Lately, I've been really digging starting underneath the brow bone, and oh shit, I should probably prime my eyes. I will say that the first color in the Urban Decay palette is more of a matte color. This shade is Hot Spot, whereas in the Rimmel London palette, it is a shimmer shade, and the Rimmel London palette doesn't have any names. Let me just be fair, and I'm going to start in my crease, and I'm going to start with the Urban Decay side, and I'm going to start with the shade Feels, which is this shade right here. So I'm just running this Morphe brush right through my crease. I'm sure you guys heard me say this 100 million bajillion times already, but I used to work for Urban Decay back in the day, so I remember the way that the old shadows used to perform, but as I was making an exit, I did start noticing that there were inconsistencies in the shadows, and so I'm really curious to see if that is still true. You guys, I am so damn thirsty today. I don't know what the hell my problem is. I think I might have drank like 80 cups of coffee, but I feel a little dehydrated. Then I'll take a completely separate brush because I feel like that's only fair. I'm gonna go in with the third color from the Rimmel London palette, which is this color right here, and it looks very similar to Feels. So this is the color I just applied, and then this is the color I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna pick that up on I believe this is a Moda brush. Okay, so first and foremost, my first impression right now is, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. The Rimmel London eyeshadow palette, I feel I picked up less pigment and I got a crazy color payoff with less eyeshadow. There was a lot of kick up in the Urban Decay palette right off the bat, but I will say I just was not expecting that. Like, I didn't anticipate it. I knew that the colors were very similar, but the texture, the color is like damn near spot on. That is just really insane to me, you guys, honestly. I'm taking a Morphe M514 and I'm going to go into the Urban Decay palette and I'm going to use the shade Bing. Starting again in my crease, I'm just going to define my crease a bit more. The next brush I'm going to use is this little crease brush. Honestly, I picked it up at a random store. There isn't an exact shade for Bing in the Rimmel London palette. The closest one I'm gonna have to say is one of these two. This if we were to mix these two, I'd get really close to being. So I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of both. And I'll probably take more of this shade, obviously, like you guys see me doing, to just deepen it like being. And then we're gonna give it a shot. Do you guys see all that pigment on there? Obviously, you guys can see this is a little bit more pink. This is just a tad bit more purple. This is definitely deeper. I could probably deepen this eye with one of the darker shades. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Grab a little bit of this color. This color is actually, I'm so crazy. This color is very similar to Bing. It's more of like a satin finish than a matte. Bing is definitely more matte. Look how much deeper that just got. I do feel like my Rimmel London eye though is much more pigmented. Let me dig into the shade that's right next to Bing, and it's the shade called Devilish. I'm gonna take that same Morphe M514 brush, and let's see, that actually looks pretty dark. Nope, it just made it darker. I want to point out that the Urban Decay palette is super deceiving. Look at how bright these eyeshadows look. But yeah, I'm somehow coming up with like this really dark eyeshadow look. And the same thing happened to me with the palette from Urban Decay. When I went to go apply it, it just came out so dark and muddy. And I don't know, I don't understand why. I used to love Urban Decay eyeshadows. They were the best eyeshadows, but lately they've just been playing me and I'm not about it. I definitely need to darken up my Rimmel London eye. I'm gonna go in with this dark shade. Now see, I appreciate a palette where I can go from lighter to darker and you can work at it, because maybe sometimes you want something for daytime, other times you want something for nighttime, where I feel like with the Urban Decay palette, I definitely just got like a straight nighttime look without even trying, and that's not really what I was aiming for, because I wanted more of like a hot pink glittery eye. But seeing as the Urban Decay played me, we're gonna go with more of a smoky look. We're gonna use the shade Turn On and Ambitious. Let me just take my flat brush. We're not gonna cut the crease or nothing crazy. I'm not in the mood for a cut crease anymore. I'm trying to leave a cut crease in 2018 where the hell it belongs. I'm gonna use my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Do you guys see how ginormous this thing is? Shook. And I'll use the All Nighter for both. I'm going to use a Morphe M124 brush. I'm going to pick up the first color, again using the All Nighter setting spray. That's definitely brighter and 100% more pigmented and smoother. I'm going to have to add in some Hot Spot, which is the very first color in the Urban Decay Cherry palette. Rimmel London's still shitting on it. Okay. Let me see if I can tone down the Rimmel London. Use this gold color because the Turn On color from Urban Decay does have like a little bit more of that sandy undertone to it. Okay, she toned down a little bit. Alright, so on my Rimmel London eye, I'm gonna use, this is ridiculously close to Young Love from Urban Decay. I'm just trying to feather it in. I'm gonna apply Young Love right there, right after the light color that I applied, just like I did on my Rimmel London eye. I feel like those two eyeshadows are freaking identical. Damn, those are like almost exactly the same. Alright, this is turning into a smoky eye. Not really where I was trying to go, but that's where we're going. This is where we're headed. Somebody get the GPS. Alright, so I'm going to take my Japanesque 724 blending brush, and I'm going to take this dark chocolatey color, which is called Privacy. The Urban Decay Young Love is legit peeling off my eyelid. Alright, well, stop touching that because that Young Love is disintegrating. Let me take a Morphe 503 blending brush, and I'm going to take the darkest color in the Rimmel London palette, which is this guy right here. Wow. Okay, so I feel like most of my eyeshadow is done. I think we're gonna have to talk this one through because there's a situation and I got some shit I gotta get off my chest. So let me go finish my makeup and I will catch up with you guys in just a couple seconds. Okay, so as you guys can see, I went ahead and I finished up my makeup. The lip combo that I have on is actually Anywhere Caffeine Lip Liner from Makeup Forever, and I paired it with a mauve story from the Dose Colors Katy x Desi collection, and then I popped on my Morphe Pop Lip Gloss. My final thoughts on the Urban Decay eyeshadow palette is it's deceiving AF. I had the exact same problem with the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. It looks really light and bright, almost like you can build up to a more dramatic eye, but as soon as it went on, it gave me like smoky, sultry vibes, which really wasn't something that I was going for today, but this is where we ended up. Do I think it's worth $49? Absolutely not. Would I go out of my way to purchase this? Probably not. As far as pigmentation, the pigmentation is there, but I did have to work a little bit harder at getting these to show up because it did come across like more dusty. It didn't come across as like the old Urban Decay super pigmented eyeshadows. These shadows are actually very chalky. I really don't see myself recommending this to anybody. As for the magnif'eyes Crimson Edition from Rimmel London, this is $7.44, you guys, and it by far outperformed the Urban Decay eyeshadow palette, which is absolutely crazy to me just because the Urban Decay Naked palettes have they've set such a high bar. They were like the first nude palette on the market, so I feel like they have this huge expectation to live up to, and with each Naked palette it seems like they just continuously keep falling short. This by far I think is super worth it. What you see in the palette is what you get. You guys don't have to worry about the colors not showing up because they definitely show up. And you guys don't have to worry at all about fallout from this palette versus other palettes in the makeup industry right now. I experienced next to no fallout. I think I had a little bit, but I definitely had way more fallout with the Urban Decay palette. The colors in this palette show up exactly as they are, which actually had me really shook because I've never purchased a Rimmel London eyeshadow palette until I purchased this one, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, and I try to avoid watching any Rimmel London eyeshadow palette reviews on YouTube just because I didn't want to be biased and I really wanted to see for myself what this palette was all about. I had to come to a conclusion about which eyeshadow palette won this face-off between By This Not That. Definitely is going to the drugstore once again. I highly recommend that you guys try this palette. If you guys have been kind of standoffish about the Naked palette, just pass on it. Go for the $7, $8 palette. You guys will get just as many great eyeshadows. If not, you guys will get better eyeshadow quality in here. It's much cheaper, and all that extra money you guys are saving, you guys can go out and buy some other makeup with it. So don't spend all your coin on the Urban Decay Naked palette because Rimmel London has you guys covered. Alright, Glam Fam, there you guys have it. That wraps up yet another By This Not That eyeshadow palette face off. Yet again, the drugstore one. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the review slash comparison video, and if this is something that you guys enjoy watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't leave here without hitting that subscribe button, and as always, Glam Fam, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.